Hi, I'm Jess Cannell, and I blog at jesscannell.com. That's Connell. And today I wanted to talk to you about um, training your children to do what is normal and appropriate and right. So I've seen moms who don't know what they should train for. We don't know, should we? It's just an annoying habit. Should I just put up with it or whatever? And I actually think, and I especially feel this way strongly as a homeschooling mom, but I think this is our role in general as parents, is that we should be training our children towards what is healthy for them, what is appropriate for the culture and world that they live in. And sometimes that's going to mean not just training for character issues or for absolute black and white, right and wrong, like you should not get drunk, you should, whatever. So, but sometimes it looks like what brought it up is Theo here, he's playing behind me, and he just came up and he said, and he was trying to sit on the dog. And just for reference, this is our dog right here. He's a little guy. And so Theo was just playing, and he's kind of like hunkering down in and trying to sit on him. And I said, no, we don't sit on the dog. And that's a moral issue. Well, then he said, like instead of saying, okay, mom, or whatever. Well, he was just being silly. And yet, I don't want him to have these weird, quirky responses to people when they're saying something normal to him. So I said, no, we don't say, we say, okay, mom. And then he said, okay, mom. And so it's just a small example. It's nothing major, but I just thought, this is something where you can kind of second guess yourself or wonder, am I doing something right or wrong? And I love what Greg Harris said. He said, train your kids until you like them. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. We shouldn't be overbearing overlords who just constrain them into this little box. And yet we are trying to help them be fruitful, likable, winsome, kind, enjoyable people. People that will be a blessing to the people who they're around, will make the world a more joyful, more God-honoring place to live. And part of the way that we do that is by teaching them what's appropriate. And like I said, especially as a homeschooling mom, I feel like this is an important role for us as homeschooling mothers because, a lot of kids do this to each other through bullying, teasing, rudeness on the playground. I remember getting that, saying something or doing something that wasn't what somebody else thought was cool or right, and I remember feeling humiliated about that, or teased, or made to feel like I was less than because I did this thing. And so I don't want to do that through bullying, and yet I do want to train them to be people who don't have odd quirks that are going to keep them from getting a job. If it's something that is a tick or a personal, something they can't undo, then of course we're going to train them to live within the constraints of how God has made them. But if there is something that they're doing that's just odd, and that we could say, hey, when I ask you a question, don't go, I want you to say, okay, mom, or to give a normal response. That is a good and healthy and appropriate way for us to be training our children towards fruitfulness and a joyful life in the world that God has put them in. He has put them in this world, in this year, in this country, and so I want to train them on how to live joyfully and rightly in this place. So those are my thoughts. I hope they're helpful to you. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you are growing on purpose right there where God has put you. Have a great day. Say bye.
Bye.